they basically want to give Joe Biden a singular talking point at the debate. He can't campaign on the economy or peace, the disasters that are going on or inflation. They want to be able to say that Trump is a convicted felon. That's what this judge has been doing all along. That's the entire notion of it. I've sat in court now for days. I watch. If we bring up something, nope, it's overruled. It's overruled. It's overruled. When the other side brings up something against us, it's sustained, it's sustained, it's sustained. We can't bring in. One of the charges they talk about with Michael Cohen is he pled guilty to an FEC, Federal Election Commission violation, and that's why he went to prison. What they don't talk about that he was charged with 9 other things. He pled guilty to that. Everyone that we knew understood it wasn't relevant. It wasn't a real plea, but he did that because that allowed the prosecution to open up a door to bring Trump into it. So he pled guilty to something he should not have because that was going to be and lessen the charges on all of the other things. That's what everyone understands happened, but it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to bring in an election expert, someone who worked and wrote the rules to say that these things were not crimes. The judge won't allow that. We're able to basically present a quarter of a case. The jury will never hear the reality of what went on behind these scenes. And, we got to hear 5 hours yesterday from the prosecution talking about what an upstanding human being Michael Cohen is. Michael Cohen, as basically our defense said, is the GOAT of liars. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's lied to everyone in the history of his recent life. He's lied to the courts. He's lied to this very jury. He's lied to his wife. He's lied to the press. He lied before every branch of Congress. There's not a single person in the world he hasn't actually lied to. He is the epitome. He is the epitome of reasonable doubt. And yet we're told it's different now. We must trust his testimony now as long as it gets Trump. I mean, it's so asinine.
It's honestly, Don, normally a normal judge will instruct a jury that if you find any of a testimony of a witness, discard all of it, consider it all to be a lie. And Michael Cohen literally got caught admitting to lying during this trial.
You can lie about everything, Eric, but on this one, you should believe him. I mean, it's asinine, but people understand that it's a show trial. It's a show trial to try to help the Democrats. It's the epitome of election interference. They're trying to do whatever they can to help Joe Biden, to hamstring Trump, anything. When elections are won, in the margins, in these little tiny basis points, they're trying to allow it that the Democrats can have any sort of upper hand. That's clear in the venue, not just here, but in all of the other cases. They choose the venue, they choose the prosecutors. It just never ends. It's not a coincidence that this very judge also gets the Steve Bannon case, also got the other cases for conservatives. It's like this is the guy whose daughter's fundraising and making millions off of it, who's going to take and look at all of these things. That's banana republic stuff. It's happening right here in New York.
I think Malliotakis is looking into exactly that. How is it possible that Merchant gets the Trump case, gets the Bannon case, gets every single MAGA or Trump supporter, or Trump orbit cases? I mean, it's supposed to be a lottery. It doesn't seem like it's a lottery. Can we just play the De Niro soundbite that you mentioned very quickly? That's for the folks.
The city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street, we tolerate it. It's part of the city. It's part of the culture. But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that. Anyway, we make room for clowns to each his own. But no one takes him or took him really serious. They take him seriously now, of course.
All right, so let's come on out of there. Don, I was here, and I remember, I'm old enough to remember when that man, Robert De Niro, said in 2016, if Donald Trump wins, I will leave. He said he would leave the country. I offered him a plane ticket one way, anywhere he wants, obviously. Didn't leave the country. He's saying it again. What's your response to De Niro on those comments that everyone who supports Trump is a clown, his words?
Well, I wish he was still making movies from like 20 years ago, but apparently he's desperate for the attention. It seems that Joe Biden and the Democrats have lost, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Cardi B, all these other people that were gladly willing to line up behind Joe Biden in 2020. They all disappeared. They understand that that was a mistake. They've said that out loud. Robert De Niro's the last one. He shows up wearing a mask still. He's got his own legal issues. We don't even need to get into that. but it's the last of the clown show. And they'll wheel him out there in his mask. He'll do this thing, and he gets heckled down by a New York crowd, which tells you everything you actually need to know about what's going on. But what's really worse, Eric, is frankly the fact that he took on anyone that was MAGA, anyone that was America first. He's calling them clowns and jokers. I mean, no one hates hardworking Americans, blue collar, hardworking, middle class Americans more than the Democrat Party. And Robert De Niro is the epitome of that. Listen to his words, not just yesterday, but over the last few years, as he's slowly gotten worse with his Trump derangement syndrome. He's not just attacking Trump, he's attacking the lifeblood of this country, the people who make things happen, the people who work so hard, and the people who are getting crushed by the policies of the radical Democrats. Joe Biden, Robert De Niro, the Hollywood elite who haven't abandoned Joe Biden and the Democrat policies that have failed America so badly, they hate America. They hate the hardworking men and women of America. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to everything he says.
For one final thought, Hunter Biden, his trial starts on Monday. Joe Biden visited a key witness in the Hunter Biden upcoming trial. So I would call that witness tampering. What's your message to the upcoming group who are visiting and playing around with the witnesses in the Hunter Biden trial?
Eric, that's not witness tampering if you're Joe Biden or Democrat. It would only be witness tampering if it was me, my father, a conservative, anyone with an R next to his name. That's the difference. If we did this, there'd be investigations. The DOJ would be jumping in. Of course they're witness tampering. They're probably making promises to take care of them later on if they don't convict his son. And guess what? He won't do it. He'll let it play out. His DOJ has gone incredibly soft on all of these things. They only go after, people who buy Bibles and people who, maybe bought a MAGA hat once in a while. Those people are domestic terrorists in their book. Hunter Biden, arguably one of the biggest pieces of garbage ever linked to the presidency. He'll get a pass one way or the other. And if not, they'll wait till after the election and they'll pardon him. Hunter will be just fine. He'll go back to selling art for millions of dollars.